Hi Barbie, are you ready to sew with me? Today we are going to work on this fun Barbie tote bag. Let me show you the panel that we're going to make this bag from. This is from Riley Blake Designs, and we've designed a panel for a tote bag and 2 taco pouches. But we're not going to make the taco pouches today. There's instructions on how to create them, and we've previously done a taco pouch video, and we'll put a link to that video in the description. But I did want to show them to you. They're so cute with the little Barbie charms that we've made that make excellent zipper pulls. And you can work on those later, but today we're going to work on the tote bag. And so you're going to pull out your panel, and the best way to cut out the tote bag is using your ruler and rotary cutter. And why that is you want nice straight cuts for your straps. You can cut out with scissors, and if that's what you got, that is perfectly fine to do. But I think the best way to do this is to cut out the panel using a rotary cutter and just make sure you have straight lines. And you can kind of shift your fabric a little bit when you're cutting this out. So I'm going to cut out the straps. And again, you can kind of shift a little bit your fabrics. And the dotted line is your cut line. One more cut for the straps. And then there's this dotted line down the center. So let me hurry and cut that out. Now, if you see the Barbie tote bag, there is this line right here. That's your dotted line to cut it out. And then you're going to use a 1/2-inch seam allowance. So I'm going to finish cutting out all my parts, and then I'll meet you back here and we'll get started on sewing. Okay, we made our final cut on the straps, and I've cut everything out that goes with it. You're going to need a coordinating fabric. That's the only thing that's not included on the panel. So coordinating fabric, I'm choosing Ken because, you know, Ken goes with Barbie, and it just needs to measure the same size as the tote. I did want to show you that you have to cut out the taco pouches with scissors, and you get an inside and outside. Or if you've got a coordinating fabric, you actually could make 4 taco pouches. But again, instructions are going to be separate from this video. So I'm going to put this to the side. I have cut out my instructions to follow along on the tote bag, and we're going to get started. So we have already cut out our coordinating fabric, the same size as this tote bag fabric. And we're going to take the tote bag fabric, the 2 sides, and put them right sides together. And you can pin it in place, and there's already a 1/2 inch around this tote panel, and that's what we're going to sew around. So we're going to sew 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, leaving the top open. Just kind of pin it in place so it doesn't shift, and we'll be ready to go. Now that's going to be ready to go, and after I sew that, we're going to sew the coordinating fabric just like the main bag fabric, the main tote fabric, but this time we're going to leave a 3-inch opening at the bottom. And we can mark that. I'm going to eyeball it, and that's to turn the bag inside out. We're going to sew here to here, from here to here. So we're giving a 1/2-inch seam allowance, and I'm changing my stitch length to 2 1/4. I pivot around my corners, so just like that. Do a quick pivot. Okay, that's done. Let's So our lining, okay, this can fabric is sewn. I'm going to actually just trim off my corners like this. Let me trim off. Take that pin out, the corners here, so we can pop out those corners really easily. Okay, we're going to turn this right side out. And now is a good time to get you can use your finger or one of these stilettos turner to push out your corners there. Don't push too hard, you can push through the fabric. So that's good to go. It might be a good time to just give it a quick press. I think I will press out my edges. There we go. So that is good to go, and we're gonna leave this turn inside out, and now we're gonna work on our straps. Now the pattern tells you to fold them in half, and you can either do a finger press or a press, so let me fold them in half. And then most times you would fold them in half again and just like that. But that's going to make a smaller strap. And we're going to cut off these cute little Barbie icons. So I'm going to choose just to fold it in, like you could do a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to fold it just like that so I can see those cute little icons a bit better. So you're folding towards the center, just like that. And then you're gonna fold towards that fold that we made in the center like that. So here we go. And that way you can see the cute little Barbie words, and then you can see the icons on this side. Okay, I'm going to repeat it on this strap. Now that those are pressed, I'm going to take it to the machine and do a top stitch on both sides so it looks even on both sides. But first, I'm going to close my opening, and then on the fold, I will top stitch on the other side, just kind of lining up those stripes, just like that. If you need to pin it, stick a pin in it right now. All right, now that I've got my straps sewn into place, I'm going to take them over to my bag, and we are going to put them about 3 inches from the side, from the seam on that side. I'm going to just I'm going to shift mine slightly to 2.5. I kind of like that a little bit better. But you could do whatever you would like. Now I'm going to pin those in place, and you're just going to loop them like this. You can choose which side you want. This is kind of be on the inside, so you can choose which side you want. Now I'm going to baste them on my machine. I'm going to change my stitch length to a basting stitch. Okay. Right, we got that. Now let's flip it over. Put this strap on the other side, and you just kind of mirror it. You don't have to measure it this time, just eyeball it, make sure it lines up perfectly with that other strap. There we go. Okay, those handles are basted into place. Now we're going to put our coordinating fabric inside here. And you're going to have to make sure those straps, like push them back in. They should be in the middle, not popping out the top. Then you're going to line this up like this. So they're going to be right sides together. And since I'm a quilter, I'm going to nest my seams, but generally when you're bag making or garment sewing, you open up your seams. So whatever you want to do, I'm going to nest those seams though. So I'm going to line up my sides first. Again, I'm choosing to nest those seams, flipping one seam one direction, flipping the other seam the other direction. That's what it means to nest. And now I'm going to just kind of pull the coordinating fabric and that top fabric, the outside of the bag fabric. I'm going to pin my straps so they're behaving, not trying to poke in the wrong direction. There we go. And then I'm going to take it to the machine and I'm going to sew all the way around this top opening. Okay, I've changed my stitch length. I actually moved it to a 2.0. And it says around the top, do a 1/2 inch. And I start and stop with a back stitch. Okay. Okay, now it's time to turn it right side out. Sometimes they call it birthing the project. With our 3-inch opening right here, we're gonna pull everything right side out. So we'll get it all pulled out. Okay, and take a look at your straps. Make sure they're all in the right spot. They're looking good. Okay, I'm going to take my turning tool, again, just popping out those corners. I think they're already pretty good. Just do it again, looks good. go. We got that corner, that corner. And now you can whip stitch this closed by hand, or you could take it to the machine and sew it shut. Doing a nice little back stitch. Okay, that's good to go. Now before I put the lining back in, I'm going to give it a quick press. This Ken fabric is so cute. And now I'm going to just press those handles like that. That looks good. I'll press the bag. And now we're going to pop that coordinating fabric back inside the bag. Like that. Pop out your corners. And the last thing that I recommend is do a top stitch around the top of your bag. It actually, if you don't do it, it's going to slump funny. So you're really going to want to do that. So let's pull out all your seams. And if you need to pin, sometimes there's some bulk there, so you can pin those seams. I'm going to move our straps up like that. And you're going to just do a top stitch. It's going to reinforce your handles, and it's going to make your bag look finished. Okay, let's take to the machine and finish up our bag. I am going to start on a seam. And sometimes when I top stitch, I don't back stitch. I just go over the stitches where I started. So I'm going to choose not to back stitch. I'm going to do this really little top stitch. Okay, and your Barbie bag is finished. Look how fun and cute that looks. So thanks, Barbie, for sewing along with me. Join us next time for other fun projects by Riley Blake Designs.